studio with me Vesna and also Valentina. Is that a gorgeous name? And we're going to be talking about personal styling. So welcome, Vesna.
Thank you. Good morning, Penelope.
Good morning. Very nice to have you in the studio with us this morning.
Thank you.
And as I announced before you guys came in, this is a first for the Fashion and Home show here on Hills Radio. That it's we've got a videographer in the room with us, and this is going to go up on your Facebook page.
And YouTube channel as well.
Fantastic, excellent, very exciting, very exciting. So we better get sort of into it.
Yes,
in actual fact. So otherwise we'll bump into some more sponsorship announcements. So Vesna, you are a personal stylist.
That's right.
And how long have you had this burning desire around fashion?
Oh, Penelope, that comes when I was a young child. I think I was around 10, 11, and I have these beautiful memories of going back to my cousin's workshop. So she used to design and make beautiful clothing for women. And I remember being in that place, and that was my zone. Falling in love with the fabrics, the textures, and just, looking at her, doing what she was doing there.
Yes.
So, long time now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, it sounds a bit like my childhood as well, actually.
Okay.
So have you worked in other areas of fashion before coming out here to be a personal stylist?
Yeah, definitely. So when I finished high school, I knew deep inside I wanted to do something related to fashion. I wanted to be a fashion designer. But back that time, I used to live in Argentina, in a small town. So I had to move interstate to pursue that career. Didn't happen for different reasons. So I decided to do international business. I like it, commerce, marketing.
Yes.
And I did a little bit of marketing, admin. We moved to Australia 14 years ago. I worked in an importing, exporting business. Then I had my first child, second child. Didn't want to go back to the office and do the 9 to 5, time.
Understand
yes.
why? Absolutely.
I needed that flexibility. So that's when my husband came on board and said, why don't you help me with my business? You have this, marketing background, and you help me with, all the marketing side of my business. He's a mortgage broker. So I did that for around 3 years. But you know what? That passion wasn't there. I was just doing the basics. Didn't feel motivated at all. So we had a chat. Remember that particular moment when we sat down, and I said to my husband, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I don't feel happy. And that's when I went back to my childhood. And had these thoughts and those memories of, what is it that I really like? What is it that I can connect and I can feel happy? So I knew that it was something related to fashion. I wasn't clear about which path I wanted to take, so I allowed myself to explore different opportunities and options. So I started to work in retail. That was 4 years ago. And that's when I realized that helping women to dress, to choose outfits that flatter their body shape, choose colors that complement their skin, was something that was happening naturally and easily.
Yes, because following our passions is something we do talk about a bit on this show, because Fiona Dorman, who's joining me at 10:15, from the Part-Time People, comes in once a month to talk about careers in fashion and design, and we often get onto the subject in different ways of following our passions, which is really important. And so clearly, as you said, that burning desire, and that is what you want to do.
Yes, definitely.
So there are, of course, different options in fashion, and you mentioned fashion design. So what inspired you to be a personal stylist?
Yeah, that's a great question, Penelope. What happened during that time when I was working in retail, it wasn't about the selling part, it wasn't about the commercial side that got me into that industry. It was when I was in the fitting rooms, helping women, bringing something from the rack, and just seeing that beautiful reaction, that beautiful smile in their face.
Yes.
And getting those, kind of comments of, wow, I have never thought that color would look so nice on me, or I have never thought about this outfit combination, or I have never picked something like that for me. So those, short period of time, but very rewarding moments that really fulfill me.
Yes.
And it was a particular time when, I remember the day, when this lady was looking for a denim skirt. And, something basic, but she didn't know what to put it with. So I picked 2 or 3 tops to go with. She was about to leave. She said, you know what, you should come to my home and sell my wardrobe. You know, you will be great at that.
Ah.
And then I had that click moment, exactly right.
Yes.
Maybe I could pursue a career in this area.
Fantastic.
So I went back home the day after that. Everything was quite hot and alive. And did a little bit of research. And yeah, it was a career about dressing women, personal styling. So yes, I did a little bit of research and I had a look to different options. And I decided to go to Sydney and get my training.
So there's a course that you can do to be a personal stylist?
Yes, definitely.
So Claire, even though there's a course, obviously with that passion that you very clearly have, you would have to have a bit of a natural eye, I would imagine. So how do you decide what suits a person? Is that intricate and intrinsic to you, or is that part of the training, or is it both? So how do you decide what suits a person?
Great question, Penelope. It is a combination of things. Yeah, there is a natural skill that happens, by nature, because we all have strengths and skills and things that make us unique.
Yes.
So that's part of who I am. But also that training that I did gave me all that confidence and some basic knowledge to then apply it. But it comes to, at the end of the day, to the personality of that person and also the body shape and body proportions.
Right.
So both things really matter and make a difference when we choose an outfit.
Yes, because it's interesting that often someone else can see what suits us more than we can ourselves.
So true.
Even though we're looking in the mirror, someone like you, who is a trained personal stylist and has that passion, you see something in your clients that perhaps they don't see themselves when they look in the mirror.
Oh, so true, Penelope, and I see that happening every day.
Yes.
And I think that's part of, human nature. We tend to get stuck in sometimes the areas of our body that we don't like, we're not that happy.
Yes.
So we tend to forget that we have assets, we have beautiful things to highlight on our hands. So when I meet someone new, a new woman, new person, a new client, straight away I'm seeing their assets.
Right. Oh, good.
So that's the first thing that I wanted to pick up because, fashion and styling is all about blending optical tricks. That's what we do.
Yes.
It's about highlighting your best bits.
Excellent.
Yes, we may have areas that we are a bit more concerned and we can do things about those areas. But the idea is, to focus on your body assets. And it could be not necessarily your shape or your waistline. It could be your skin, having a beautiful glowing skin. It could be your facial features. It could be your shoulders. It could be your legs.
Right. That's so interesting because generally speaking, when we look in the mirror, because we see ourselves every day, we do focus on the negatives. And you've just said when you first meet someone, so it's fresh, you focus on the positives.
Yes.
And that gives you the ability to see things in them that they don't see themselves.
Totally true. Yes.
So what role does personality play? Because, you do see people who might have, really brightly coloured hair, brightly coloured clothes. They're a very abundant, bright personality. But the clothing doesn't necessarily suit their body shape. It might suit their personality. So how can you work between personality and body shape? What comes first?
Beautiful. I guess it's a balance between the two things. If, for example, I'm dressing you, Penelope, and I'm just looking at your body shape and ignoring your personality, you're probably not going to feel that comfortable in that dress that I'm picking for you. Let's say your personality is, chic and edgy or creative, and I pick a beautiful, flattering dress, but it's very feminine and romantic, even though it's going to look right because it's flattening your shape, you're probably not going to feel confident and comfortable in that dress because it's not representing who you are.
Right.
Isn't it? On the other side, if I do the opposite and I pick a beautiful, chic, creative, edgy dress, which is you. I'm just coming up with this scenario.
Yes, for sure.
But then it's very unflattering, it's not doing anything positive, it's not doing any justice in your body shape,
Right.
you're not going to feel great neither.
Yes, yes.
So we do have to find that sweet spot in the middle, when we can put together your personality and when we can combine that flattering look.
Excellent. I was talking about sweet spots just earlier in terms of women who have wide calves, and that sweet spot that is the smallest part of their calves for where hemlines should sit.
Right.
So it's interesting that you should say sweet spot.
Yes.
Because that could mean a few things in fashion, but that's the best spot.
Definitely.
For you, which is fantastic. So have you seen any significant changes in the way personal stylists work, or things that you have learnt on the job from when you first started as a personal stylist?
Yeah, that's for sure. And I think everything has changed when the online world took place. Technology like applications on phone, iPads, and also internet being so strong nowadays. When we think about 10 years ago, the internet presence, with shops and mainly shops, wasn't that strong as it is today. So nowadays, a lot of big chain retailers online have their virtual assistant in there, stylist in there.
Is that as good as having someone like you at their side? I imagine not.
Of course not. It's like in everything in life. I personally believe that nothing beats a one-on-one physical interaction.
Exactly.
I mean, you can do a lot with internet. Like I have been doing some sessions over Skype.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's real time.
Right, but you're still a real person.
Exactly right. So you're seeing that person, you're seeing the expressions, body language. They can stand up and I can have a look to the body shape.
Right.
When we have a camera in there.
Yes.
But that's a positive side of technology nowadays. Someone living in the countryside, which coming to the city, it's a bit of a trouble, or time. It's a bit poor, for people who are quite tight with time. We can do an online session.
Excellent.
As well. So that definitely has changed the dynamic of this, profession.
Fantastic. You're listening to Vesna Cabbage, who's a personal stylist, here on 88.9 FM Hills Radio. It's just gone 1 minute past 10, and it's 15.7 degrees in the gorgeous Adelaide Hills. We're going to go to a couple of our sponsorship announcements, and then we will be back to ask Vesna some more biting questions on being a personal stylist.
Brought to you by Station Sponsor.
We're back. And I'd like to delve into some of your favourite fashion and accessories. And I'm sure, as you've said, you work with the personalities of your clients, the body shapes of your clients, and everybody is an individual. But are there certain fashion items and accessory items that are your favourites or your go-to pieces in a wardrobe?
I think it comes to personality. I am quite adventurous, quite curious. I love traveling, so I love to explore different options. So I don't stick to a particular store or brand. I like to explore what's happening here in a very kind of small boutique shop, or big brands as well.
Yes.
Random Mall or Marion Shopping Centre. Or when traveling, going to those kind of exotic places, you're going to find that kind of one unique piece.
Like Argentina would be quite exotic.
Yes, lots of leather there. So I think again, personality. I love textures. I love being, for example, a piece of jewelry which has a little bit of metal, a little bit of lace, perhaps, or a touch of leather there really excite me.
Interesting, actually, just as a complete aside, this necklace that I'm wearing with the bracelet, that's actually from Brazil.
Wow.
And it has a bit of leather. But that's resin. And this, I've got a variety of pieces from a Brazilian artist.
Definitely looks quite exciting, I have to tell.
It was a gift from here in the Adelaide Hills.
Wow, very special.
A place at Stirling called Aptos Cruise, which we love. But yes, mixing in the different exotic things, like maybe Turkey would have some pretty exciting things, in France and Argentina and even New Zealand. I like the New Zealand designers.
Yep. definitely. And I guess, when it comes to accessories, we have to think about the body shape as well. For example, on someone a bit short and a bit chubby, or a bit heavy around the bust line, something quite bulky and chunky with a piece of jewelry like a necklace, it's probably not going to look that flattering. In that case, we wanted to look for something a bit longer and finer, which is going to give them more exposure around the skin here, on the chest area, and also it's going to elongate the torso. So again, going back to body shape, so it matters.